What's up, everybody? Welcome to South Beach Strategy. As you know, this is an entrepreneur podcast and we focus on business, entrepreneurship, but something that always gets brought up in the interviews are relationships. It seems that no matter what, picking the right partner is very important in life, whether it's financial or just headache wise or whatever the reason may be. The partners play a role in the success of the entrepreneur. So who else better to talk to us about relationships than Ludmila Woodruff, right? Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, perfect. You're
Good
Polish.
job.
I'm Cuban Colombian, so I'm
Yes,
learning new
yes,
languages
yes.
and new ways to pronounce words. So bear with me, but I hope I nailed it, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So why do you do this?
Because I love relationships and I love love. And I sucked at relationships. When I was a young woman, I was doing what I thought all the right things in my dating life, and I would end up always crying on my bed, and relationships would end, and I would just rinse and repeat. And I had no idea how to do relationships well. So, I'm now married for 15 years, happily married. My husband is amazing, my best supporter, and I do believe that relationships do, how do you say it now? I lost words, but relationships define the quality of our life. I do believe that. So you can have all the wealth, you can be doing really well, but if you don't have a partner or somebody to share your life with, I think all of us really desire that. And there is an art and understanding, skills and knowledge to create that for yourself. And I think most people miss that. We just don't understand how to do relationships well. And you can learn that. It's something you can learn and something that can bring you a lot of joy, and you can thrive. And relationships can be the easiest part of your life because they are for me right now.
We know you're an excellent coach. And like we had talked about earlier, where this is going to be about the coaching, but it's also going to be an interview about you as well, because we know how passionate you are about what you do. You're passionate about your business. This is your business.
Yes.
You're passionate about helping people, but it's also your business.
Yes.
And a lot of entrepreneurs, when they come on here, they're always very passionate about what they do because it means a lot to them. It's not just business.
Correct.
So, but we also want to get to know you on a personal level. So since I know some things, I don't want you to worry if you're giving us your emotions and your feelings and you feel like you lost yourself in thought. It happens all the time because we're thinking about the next thing. So, but feel free we can always go back and visit it and talk about it again. So why do you think high achievers like myself, I've been 47, I just recently got into a relationship, struggle with relationships? Why?
Well, because I think all of us apply the same, behaviors and ways of thinking that we apply in business, which is pressure, control, performance to our relationships. And that might sound like the right thing to do. But for relationships, you need different skills, meaning you need to be able to understand your emotions. You need to be able to communicate correctly and effectively. You need to be able to hold space for your partner, right? It's a completely different set of skills than in business, number one. Number two, guess what? We all are great at business, right? And so we pursue what we are good at. If you are not good at relationships and you don't feel great about yourself and you are thinking, I'm so smart, why can't I figure out relationships? You will go back to what you are really good at, which is let's make some more money.
Yeah.
Right? So very often we just focus on what makes us feel great and successful and what we feel, I know how to do this. So let me invest in business. Let me invest not only finances, but also time and energy into something that I know how to do well, instead of let's try the relationship game again and fail at it, or feel like I don't know how to communicate across my message or my desires, my wants or boundaries. We are not taught how to do relationships well. If you didn't have parents who modeled that to you, and most of us didn't, listen, love our parents, they did their best. And as we know, we all have some limitations of how we all grew up. If you don't explore that, that expertise in what makes you a good partner, what do I need to improve in myself to be a better communicator? How do I have to manage my emotions better? How do I navigate stress? What do I do? Do I shut down? Do I yell? Do I become defensive? We all have different types of behaviors and adaptations that help us. And again, if we don't invest into understanding ourselves and relationships, we just go back to doing them the way we do. which we create the same results. And most of us don't know how to do it well, so we don't enjoy it. So we come back to business. Let's do more business. Let's make money. Feels so much better. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because my whole life, maybe not thinking it, but I've always said, regardless of what happens, tomorrow at 7 a.m, I have to be awake. I have to be back in the office. I have to be back on my regular schedule. So when it came to relationships and emotions and things like that, I could never get so wound up where the next day I call in and say, hey guys, I'm not showing up for team meeting today because I'm crying over my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, that's never been an option. You know what I mean?
You're frustrated and I don't know how to deal with this.
So I just go back to work and I just keep going about the regular routine. Like, that grind doesn't stop.
The grind doesn't stop.
The grind doesn't
stop. You have to show up no matter what.
Right, no matter what.
No matter what. And so very often, if you already are in a relationship, and again, nobody's going to do business for you but you, right? There is no boss to respond to by yourself. So you have to keep showing up. You have to perform. You have to make sure that you bring your best A game to the business. And if you employ people, to your employees. And then if you are already married or in a relationship, and again, you don't learn those relational skills, you keep creating issues. Meaning you say, okay, I can't have emotions over here, so I'm just going to avoid them, not address things. Let's pretend nothing happened, right? Or dismiss my partner. Oh, what do you have a problem with? Don't be so emotional. Great. Now I go to work and I come back home, and guess what? I have somebody at home who I'm disconnected from, or who feels dismissed, or who feels they are not being met or seen. And we continue those patterns and those, dynamics until something explodes, or until somebody is fed up and says, if nothing changes, I'm leaving.
Now, most entrepreneurs are good leaders and they're usually good communicators. And you mentioned communication. Why does that not translate to the home life?
Because it's emotional. And communication between your partner and yourself will be the closest relationship you will have. And it requires vulnerability, right? So a lot of us were taught as entrepreneurs, emotions don't matter. Screw your emotions. Nobody cares how you feel. That sounds great. But guess what? We are human beings and we experience emotions. We experience sadness, grief, happiness, fulfillment, right? We feel things, anxiety, which is huge for a lot of entrepreneurs. And so if you don't learn how to do this well, right? You come home and your partner says, I feel neglected, or I wish, you scheduled more dates for us. Happens a lot for women who are married to entrepreneurs. And the husband can't even receive it because we are thinking in what? Performance. So very often the man will say, but I'm doing so much. I'm providing for a family. I'm working so hard. We go defensive. So we are communicating, but I really didn't hear you, right? What I heard was, I am not good enough. I'm not doing enough for you. Right? And the woman feels, I'm just communicating, I miss you. So first of all, how we communicate matters, right? How we communicate in a way that we don't put people on defense. But number two, also understanding that whatever patterns you've seen between your parents, most likely you will copy paste. So we attract partners who will trigger something in us that we felt in our childhood. So for example, if a wife says, why don't you plan dates? Why don't you? You are so prepared for business. Everything for your business is on the calendar. But when it comes to marriage, where's time for me? Okay, she's frustrated. She feels like she doesn't matter. But she's not saying that. She's saying, why does your business matter than more? That's the message. So first of all, she didn't communicate in the way that he can receive. Secondly, he receives that. If he grew up with a feeling I'm not good enough and I never can do enough, we are going to defend ourselves. Do you see? So it goes so much deeper. Communication is a symptom of your inner self-identity. And you cannot just outthink your self-identity. You really have to understand the emotional patterns, the behavioral patterns, and then, of course, is the mindset, which we work with. But it's layered, right?
Now, when you're giving the advice, because I want to be clear about this, when we're talking about people, we're not saying men or women or women and men, we're saying the entrepreneur and their spouse.
Correct.
Because the example you said was a woman, but that could be a man who's married to a woman entrepreneur, right?
Of course.
So this is
Vice
entrepreneur.
versa.
This is what entrepreneurs deal with their spouses.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if they're a man or woman.
Your gender.
Because the man may say, you spend all the time at the store.
Correct.
You don't come in. When are you gonna spend time with the kids, right?
Oh no, because I do have those, couples, right? Sometimes I work with both partners, sometimes I just work with one individual. And you will have women who are entrepreneurs going out there in the world, closing the deals, and they don't know how to relax at home. So very often the husband will say, you are always on. I don't feel you are ever present with me because you are go, 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 which as a business owner, you have to be. But again, when do you switch it off? When you want to be really intimate with your husband or with your wife, right?
So now when the partner does that, should we be open to accepting that, or is that called bitching?
That's not bitching.
That's not bitching.
What I mean? No, but again, this is how can we say it? So, for example,
so we should be welcoming this from our partner.
Correct. You are on the same team. Why did you choose your partner? Because we are on the same team. Why are we on the same team? Because apparently I care for you. I want to nurture you. I want you to feel like we are in this together, building a life, but also loving on each other. And love is a verb, correct? So I can say I love you, but then I don't make time for you. Is that love in action? It's not. I can say I love you, but then you say I want to spend more time with you and I ignore you. Is that love in action? No, it's not. So I always say be open to your partner's feedback. Again, I will give some examples of how you can do it better, but this is the person you are living with, right? This is the person you have chosen. Why did you choose them? Sometimes we forget about the reasons why we choose our partner. And very often the reasons we choose our partner for along the way, few years in, are the reasons we are annoyed with them, right? So yes, we have to be open to understanding, hey, maybe I am working a lot because that's the season. Is there a way to still make my partner feel special, right? Is there a way to make 1 hour here, 2 hours here? I have clients who go to breakfast together sometimes at 7 a.m., right? Because that's the only time they possibly have in the season. How do you make it work? Really pay for a hotel room in between your meetings, right? If you have an opening between 12 and 1 and your spouse is close by or even work together, pay for a hotel room. Have a nice time together for an hour, 45 minutes. Make it work like you make it work for your business, right? If somebody gives you feedback on business, do you attack them? Most likely you will listen because you want to what? Make money and be successful. Well, why don't we do it in a marriage? Right?
How did they get that far if they even start to think that way? Like, how do you get married, be deep down the road, and then feel that way? You know what I mean? Shouldn't you? This is the reason why, like you said, this is you chose a partner, and that's what stood out to me. Is like you're talking about choosing somebody. It's probably because you knew that they had these traits from the beginning, and you were attracted to it because you're missing them from your life, maybe, you know?
There are so many reasons. Yeah. There are so many reasons.
Like, I know if I get with a woman, I want to make sure she's super feminine because there's not enough of that around me, you know what I'm saying? So I invite that warmth into my life, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not to say that a woman who is an entrepreneur might not be a good fit either, but if she's like a man, we're probably not gonna have much in common. You know what I'm saying?
What happens. So this is what happens. And I had one client tell me she just attracted an incredible man, very hardworking entrepreneur, in the business now for 8 years. So she travels a lot. She's the boss at the company. And when she hired me, she did not know how to relax. She had no clue how to be present. And it was all masculine energy, which is fantastic energy. Again, not gender specific. When we talk about masculinity, we talk about drive, vision, strategy, very logical driver, right? Which we want, strength, right? Leadership. That works for business very, very well. But when you come out of the business and you come home, how can you shift into more feminine energy, which is not weak, by the way, which is not just soft. Yes, you can be very soft and warm, but it's also playful. It's very creative, right? It creates an emotional experience for myself as a woman and for you as a man. And it's an invitation. It's an emotional invitation of let's connect not just through our brains, but through our heart, right? Because you can connect to people through spiritual understandings, physical touch and sensuality, emotional, right? Emotional connection, which that's how we fall in love. Everybody thinks they fall in love with their mind, but we fall in love through the heart and emotional attraction. And then our head. But very often, so when she hired me, she only knew how to connect through mental conversations, which is wonderful because we want that, right? But through the process of coaching with me, she has learned, when I'm done with work, how do I put this kind of away? This type of behaviors, put it away. And my energy of constantly being on and lead. How do I come home when I go on dates? How can I be playful? How can I be open? How can I really listen without immediately giving you a solution? Right? How can I let go of control? Because that's something which is a lot of women struggle with in marriages. They just want to control everything because it provides safety in their mind, which in marriage doesn't really work out. You wouldn't want to be controlled by me. You wouldn't like if your partner tells you, this is how you do it all the time. You did it wrong.
Oh, no way
You
I
need to
control.
this. And women do it without even knowing they are doing it.
Yes.
Right? They think,
Yes.
I'm a great partner. I'm supporting.
Yes.
And I said, your husband or your partner doesn't need to be told what to do.
Right.
They're grown men. Okay. And if you want them to do something differently, how do you influence them, which is different than tell them what to do, right? And so I will tell you, now she's dating someone, she's very happily dating someone. She says this man told her, I've never knew there can be a high-performing woman who is a successful entrepreneur who also has the playful, creative, relaxed side to her. Never met it. So I think this is what we are navigating in relationships, right, of high performers, because everything, all the skills she has in business are incredible, make her successful. We want to celebrate that. But when we enter relationship, right, how do we shift internally, energetically, that we don't tell our men what to do all the time, or we are not micromanaging them? And my clients don't want to do that anymore. So women, when they find me, they say, how can I shift my marriage? I don't want a divorce. I love my husband, but something is not working. And very often it's just learning how to feel safe within yourself. Trust your man will show up. Let go of control and really tune into yourself more, right? Instead of telling your husband, oh my gosh, you need to do this, just turn to yourself, tell him you believe in him. This is how I teach my clients. You want to influence, you look at your husband and say, you know what? It has to be honest though, okay? You look at your husband and you find something you really appreciate about him. So my husband is very thoughtful, always my best supporter. So I will look at him and say, honey, I'm so grateful for you. I love doing life with you. You always support me. I tell everybody about how amazing you are. I would love for us to go on 2 dates a week. Is that possible? Could we do it? What do you think about this? Do you see how I'm influencing him instead of, you are not caring for me. You didn't take me on a date in months. You see the energy? How does it land with a man? And vice versa, right?
The message is not the problem. It's the delivery. You know? And I think you're right. I think people forget maybe in a while, after being with someone for a while,
correct,
how to deliver the message. So when they feel like they want time, you know, I don't know, at least me, when I come off the street and I get home, like I've been through so much throughout the day. My day starts very early. I get home at the end. I'm wound up. I got a lot going on. I've been to the gym. I got things going on. And if I come home and what I hear is, you know what I'm saying? My reaction is going to be,
because, let me guess.
Please get away from me.
You want peace.
Yes.
You want peace. Like every time I talk to men, they say, I just want peace when I come home. I want to enter my home and feel like she's happy to see me.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm a master of delivery.
Yeah.
Like when if I'm in the situation and I feel I need more attention, I'll make sure when she comes home, I take her to a yoga class, make sure she gets nice and stretched out, warmed up. I'll bring her home to the jacuzzi. I'll lay out the massage table and some food, let her eat, give her a nice little rub down, and make sure she goes home with peace, nice music, and she's just relaxed. And I'll deliver the message there.
So what do you?
And they get the point.
So what do you provide?
I provide
Men,
peace.
listen.
The peace of coming home and having a few hours.
Yes.
And at the same time, I'm accomplishing the goal, which is to have time. But if when she came home, I'm sitting there with my wife beater on saying, bitch, where are you?
Yeah.
She don't want to hear that.
No.
Women don't like to be told what to do. Neither do men. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
So you got to do the opposite.
Correct. You need to influence them.
Mm-hmm.
Seduce
I love that.
them. Seduce your partner.
The message was the same, but the delivery was just better. Your husband's delivery was smooth.
Oh.
Yeah, your husband. Where's he from?
He's from Michigan.
He's from Michigan.
But I met him in Europe. I met him in Belgium. I lived in Belgium for a long time.
So you got yourself a little gringo. You went to Europe, got yourself a little blonde piece, you know. And then and now you got him like that.
We joke. He bought me online. But yeah, I have him like this, and he adores me, and I adore him. And our kids are growing up. We have two boys, 14 and 9, and they both are growing up seeing their parents in a healthy relationship, which doesn't mean we never have disagreements, right?
Sure.
Again, conflict, how do you navigate conflict is so important. Conflict is not the problem. How you do it and how you repair afterwards, right? And when you really understand your partner, and every time, one more thing I want to say to everyone who is listening, when you get annoyed with your partner or you are frustrated with them or something is not going your way, right? We very often go to making them a bad person, her or him. Oh my God, they're just such a horrible person. And what I say is think that they are always on your side, right? We are all busy. Life is lifing. Business is going. So instead of thinking they don't care, think, wow, I'm sure they care about me. How can I communicate and bring across what I need to bring across to them? Because I'm sure they want to work with me. You know, what's the intention behind what you are asking for? So important. If I come to my husband and I think, wow, he doesn't care, imagine my delivery. Imagine what I'm already expecting. And very often, we create the reality we think about. So if I think he doesn't care, the way I will communicate will create the reality in which he will respond in a way I will think he doesn't care, right? So it takes mastery, again, practice. But guys, I tell you, with time, it gets so easy. I used to think I sucked at relationships. Now relationships are the easiest part of my life. And they can be for you too.
So you feel that because of the way you've learned to deliver the message?
Yes. That's number one. Number two.
So you don't sit there when your husband comes on and go,
no. Do my best. It happens sometimes. But listen, this is the thing. You don't have to be perfect. It's not that you will never be frustrated, okay? Another pillar of a good relationship is self-awareness. So if I am frustrated, I have to be self-aware to understand, wow, I'm really pissed right now, right? I'm really not happy. Or I'm feeling anxiety. Okay, great. Why? So before I even go towards my husband, I have learned to take a moment and kind of surgically understand, okay, Ludmila, what is happening? What is the problem for me right now, right? Am I overwhelmed? Something happened with the kids, something happened with the client. Instead of just going at him, I take self-awareness, people, slow it down. Before you speed up, slow it down. So take a moment, go through whatever you need to understand emotionally. Just yesterday, I did a workshop on leadership. And leadership comes back to self-leadership. How do I lead myself emotionally? How do I understand my emotions, recognize them, process them, integrate them? So instead of lashing out at my husband, I can deliver it differently. Is it perfect? Not always, but most of the time, it comes from more calm place, But very often what we do in relationships is we don't speak up, you know who you are. Or we people please, you also know who you are, right? All those people... Who do I need, a chameleon? Who do I need to be for my partner to just not be upset? Or let's not talk about this. Put it under the couch, right? And pretend I'm not annoyed. Well, what happens is if you don't bring it forward, it's building up. It's building up and then you explode, right? So you will still communicate, but how are you communicating? And why is it taking you such a long time to bring it to your partner? Which very often comes back to how was I raised? Was conflict in my household healthy? Very often what happens is I see an avoidant person attracts an anxious person, right? And then we look at the childhood and we see, oh, dad was avoidant, financially provided, but emotionally checks out. Mom was the chaser. She would chase him, talk to me, come back, let's have a conversation, which makes the avoidant person avoid you even more, right? So there are some things you have to work through: delivery, self-awareness, emotional mastery, which comes from understanding your triggers. What triggers me? Right? What are the words that trigger me? Like I had a client and I said, why don't you just take feedback? Your wife has feedback for you. She loves you. And you know what he said? He said, growing up, I was made to feel that if I made a mistake, I'm a failure. So when my wife gives me feedback, I'm not thinking as a 40-year-old man. I'm immediately brought back to the moment when I'm 7 years old and I feel I suck, right? So how do you heal that part of you? So then as a 40-year-old man, in a conversation, you stay a 40-year-old man instead of going back and reverting to a 7-year-old emotional response. And I think we don't even know we have those responses until we start having issues in our relationships.
All right, so let's get to some juicy stuff.
Juicy.
So I talk to a lot of women who tell me, and very high achieving women, that what they're dealing with out there in the dating world are beta men. Do high achieving women want a beta, or they want an alpha to manhandle them up, or they want a beta?
You know what? A lot of high achieving women, I want an alpha, but they don't know how to alpha down a little bit, right? So it's like, okay, I want an alpha man. Let me ask you, what is an alpha man attracted to? Tell me. If you look at a woman, what are you attracted as an alpha man?
I think, for me personally, I saw the feminine, you know, I like that feminine energy, you know, but that doesn't mean that she's not an alpha.
Correct.
But it just, you know, but if she's butched up, you know what I mean? And I might be hardcore.
Yes.
If she's hardcore and we're both hardcore, then where's the balance? And I feel like the balance might be
polarity.
Not to say that it can't happen, but
there's no polarity. Right. There's no polarity. So I'm alpha. Right? I'm very alpha with what I'm doing and how I'm speaking, right? My sons always say, Mom, you are like a lot. And
is your husband an alpha?
Yeah, but he is, again, he has the emotional intelligence, number one. And number two, he handles everything. I trust him. But I don't come at my husband and constantly lead him or tell him I don't have to do that.
You guys are not like this.
No.
You guys are intertwined.
Correct. And I ask him for leadership. I ask him for advice. Can I figure out things on my own? Yeah, number one, but also I love to be supported. You know, a lot of alpha people don't know, especially women, how to be supported. We had to do it on our own. So here we are. Don't count on anybody. Nobody's coming to save you. The popular quote. There are a lot of people that will help you. You know what I mean?
And why do you feel like a lot of men have a problem if their woman is better off financially? I wish my woman was rich.
No, that's men who are unhealed. That's what I say. We always look, when I look at relationships, we look at what breaks the relationship. It will be communication, conflict resolution, money beliefs, sex, and how you raise children, right? So I don't like to say men don't like this or women don't like this. I say, if you finally go and master yourself, you will have no problem with a woman making more money than you. You will be her best cheerleader. You know what I mean? You will be her fan number one. Why? Because you won't be threatened by a woman making more money. A lot of men who say, I don't like when a woman makes more money, it's because they are not confident inside of themselves. They pretend to be confident, but internally they are not, right? Or they have some money issues they think, I don't know how to make more. They might fear that if woman makes more money, she will control them. Maybe they've seen it in their own mother. It happens. Women are also, when they make more money, sometimes they can be very controlling and treat you unwell. Again, because she is not balanced within herself. So the problem is not women making more money. It's both women and men. Guys, you need to invest time, energy, and finances into mastering yourself internally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, so you can be the most balanced partner, right? Meaning I can emotionally hold space for you, but I can also drive us where we need to go. That's what we want.
That's why I feel like I'm an amazing partner.
He's an amazing partner.
I'm an amazing because I will do everything to make sure that my partner has the utmost success from day one. I'm always going to back them. I'm always going to give them the freedom to do what they need to do so that they can grow and be, because I want to see them better than I was. You know what I mean? So you
are there to support them. You are there to excel, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because everybody has different opportunities, and what I may consider success doesn't mean it's financial. It could just be life success, it could be family success.
And that's exactly also the question. How do you define success? How do you define, stop looking at internet, stop looking at other people, because let me tell you, I work with very successful clients. From the outside, they look like their life is perfect. My marriage is perfect. My family is perfect. My business is perfect. Like they look happy. But when you go behind the curtain, a lot of them are faced with challenges. A lot of them have conflict in their marriage they don't know how to solve for. A lot of them have kids that won't speak to them any longer. A lot of them, even though they make a lot of money, and you would say like it's 1%, they still have money limiting beliefs, which makes them feel like there's scarcity and they will lose it. So define success by your own values. What type of a life do I want? What matters to me the most? What is the lifestyle I want to live? Right?
Yeah, that's probably definitely question number one for them before you give them any advice.
Listen. So when clients come to me, I have a specific worksheet for them to fill out because we need to look at the patterns. I work in pattern recognition. I don't look at this is bad, this is good. I look at what's the pattern of the behavior. Is it working out for you? Right? Personally, and then in the relationship. So when we look at all the patterns and needs that were met for you and unmet for you growing up and for your whole life, we already have a map. And I can say, oh, this is where we need to change. This is what we need to adjust or integrate or transform. It's really, most relationships can be transformed. Some people really need a divorce, right? Even the same in business. And I say this work, internal work, is so important because if you don't know your own triggers, your own patterns, your limitations, where are you still not at your fullest potential, you will attract business partners that will trigger the fears you are still carrying. So if I don't trust people with money, most likely I will attract a partner who will financially do damage.
How far along the dating chain should someone be open and honest about their beliefs and their situation?
Oh, you should listen. The first few dates is fun if you want to, right? But I encourage my clients. It's not if I'm on the date, I'm asking, are you ready to marry me? But I want to know, for example, what would make you choose a woman for life? Because when you answer that question, I will listen and understand. What do you value? If somebody says, oh, she needs to be pretty and she needs to just cook or she needs to just, right? You will give me your blueprint of a relationship. Have those conversations. Have them. Have fun, but also have the conversations. And dating, for me, it's not even about attracting a partner when I have clients dating. It's practice of self-mastery. For example, if you are on a date and a woman or a man says something that you don't like, this is your opportunity to practice what? Communication and expressing your values and preferences. If a man...
And acting on it too, because if you hear something that you don't like...
Correct. You have to speak up.
Don't go for another date, right?
Correct. But sometimes we don't speak up, right? Sometimes we don't speak up. So we hear an element of something, what you say, and we don't ask more questions. We immediately judge, right? We're like, oh my gosh, that's a no for me. No, be curious about somebody who is in front of you. What is dating? Be curious, right? And show yourself who you are. I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not, because then you are not really meeting me. They're meeting a version of me. So I say, if you're on a date and a man says, can I hold your hand? If that's a no for you, just smile and say, you know what? It's our first date. I don't feel comfortable with this. So dating...
That's creepy though. First date, you're going to be holding hands?
Listen, you would be surprised.
I'm not grabbing nobody's hands.
No, but that's what I say.
I have to tell girls on the first date, listen, just because we came and had some coffee, it doesn't mean you're going to fall in love with me, right?
Really?
That's why I tell them day one.
But you
so you know, I'm like, oh my God, I saw you with another girl.
That's what I
teach
you're in love?
I tell them day one. You're going to see me tomorrow maybe somewhere else having coffee. Doesn't mean that there's anything going on.
Yes.
But I heard you when you learn one of your podcasts, you said you got to date several people.
Well, because
you got to get to know people.
Dating is not sleeping with people.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about. I tell people the same thing too. I say, just because you're going out for coffee with people doesn't mean you have to bang them.
Correct. And by the way, how do you know someone after one date? So we went out, spent 60 minutes together.
Right. And now you're in love?
How much do I know about you? And by the way, if that happens for some people, I don't know, small 1%, it happens and people are happy together. Very often, if you haven't done any internal work, you will feel butterflies and you feel, oh, this is chemistry. Very often that's trauma bonding.
Yeah.
So you attract red flags, feel like home. Oh, that feels fun. Oh, this is exciting. And then you are down the road dealing with all the stuff you haven't addressed.
Because there's a lot of lies that are probably exchanged in these things, and especially in first, second, third dates. Like I don't lie at all. I tell them, here you go.
Yeah.
Day one, this is what it is.
Correct.
But if you don't like it,
not everybody's like this. Number one, more men are more straightforward, right? My clients.
I feel like men are more full of shit.
I don't know. It goes both ways. Women
Goes both ways, right?
I will tell you this. Listen, my female clients, very often women would date from performance, meaning, who do I need to be here in front of you for you to like me? You know, a lot of women are raised to be liked or raised to never depend on a man. So we go two spectrums. I don't need a man. I'm the man. That's amazing. Thank God I will never say I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm very happy to be a woman. But the other side of women is, oh, I need to please you. Who do I need to be? I've been taught at my home that I have to be the good girl and I have to smile and I have to say and nod whatever you need, right? Both are just not what you want to present. And I teach my clients that, again, the more I know myself and the more I love and accept myself, I feel comfortable with telling you, this is what I'm looking for. I am not looking for a long-term partnership. I'm looking for a marriage. If not with you, somebody else. Do you look for marriage or long-term partner? What do you want?
Yes.
Just tell me.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You don't want marriage? Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I respect that. You know, instead of people play games and people start saying
But you have to identify when it's games. You have to, the woman or the man, whoever it is, gotta learn on the other end. Like if somebody's feeding you a lot of shit,
but I will tell you,
gotta know it's full of shit.
The more you become self-aware and the more you are in tune with your intuition for women and like your emotion, you feel it. Like I can enter a room right now. I don't even have to talk to you. I can feel you before you. Your energy speaks for you. Mm-hmm. So if I talk to someone and after two sentences, 3 sentences, I can already tell. Yeah. Okay, I see it. It's like written all over you, you know? But again,
what do you see when you read me?
I don't know if you want to go there. No.
But what do you see in your professional opinion so far?
Listen, this is the thing. I think you are very open. I think you say what you want, right? You seem like you have a very good energy about yourself. I don't think you would be on the streets lying. I don't know, people, let me know. But again, do you want marriage or you want just long-term partnership? What do you want?
I want marriage.
Okay. Are you in a relationship for marriage? We'll put you on the spot.
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't get into a relationship if I wasn't for marriage.
Okay, perfect.
Because these things would have to be discussed before the relationship, you know? You know what my problem is? You know what my problem is?
Yes.
That I wouldn't be able to get away with lying. I wouldn't be able to go on first dates, look a woman in the face and tell her, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever encountered. No woman's going to read that and be like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
So I don't have the luxury of going, like a lot of guys will go and lie. And that's why I said it's on the responsibility for you to believe it. If women are believing when guys say, oh my God, you're the most beautiful. Maybe it's true. But like if I did it, no one's going to believe it. Girls don't go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm the most beautiful woman you've ever met in your whole life. That's crazy.
But even if you say it, that's just a compliment. It means nothing. I mean, oh, that's nice.
Great. But then the person receiving will say, oh, he said he loved me. I was the most
but that's what
and how many dates did you go on? Oh, we were together for 2 weeks.
But that's lack of confidence. No, that's lack of emotional maturity. That's lack of self-awareness. Again, do you understand? It's like we date from our early programmings very often. That's what I tell you. When people come to me and they say, I have this problem or I have this challenge, help me. Everything goes back to, how was your father? What did you need? Who did you need to be to get your father's attention? Was he even there? Who did you have to be to get your mom's attention? Who did you have to be to keep the peace in the house? What would happen if you spoke your truth? How was conflict no conflict? Okay, you just had to shut up. Okay, are you still shutting up? So you look at that again. Master yourself. Don't be foolish and don't think somebody else will fix me. Oh, the perfect partner will make me the most amazing person. No. Of course, you have to get out. We don't live in a vacuum. We don't heal in a vacuum. We don't grow in a vacuum. But you have to do your personal work and then go out to the world and practice. Practice on dating, practice with your husband, practice with your business partner. You know, nothing happens in a vacuum. And I will tell everybody, if you invest in learning those skills, your business will get even better.
I think it's like you said, people are afraid to just be upfront and honest from the jump. Like me personally, my first date is not carbone.
Okay, but
you know what my first date is?
Tell me.
It's yoga and meal prep. That's what it is. It's yoga and meal prep. Because if you don't like that, I need to know now. Okay. I can't waste money and take you to Carbone to find out that you didn't like meal preps and yoga. I got time for that. I need to know day one. Yes. If they pass that test, then we can go to Carbone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I try to find out
Everybody
Now.
start doing yoga.
Listen, my best advice for guys, you want to meet a woman and you want to know how she is. I mean, if you like yoga, you know what I'm saying? If you're into it, take her to, tell her date one is yoga class, 7:30. You know, Winwood Yoga. That's why I go. Tell her she's going there. And afterwards, to bring some extra clothes because you guys are going to go in the jacuzzi and then you're going to eat some meal prep. If she runs...
I don't know if I'm going to go to jacuzzi with you on the first date, sir.
But it's, I mean, just because we get in the jacuzzi, you're going to fall in love?
No, but also maybe I don't want to go to jacuzzi with you on the first... Listen, this is no.
Just because I take you to jacuzzi doesn't mean I'm going to try to do something.
But it's not even about that.
Listen, I tell them day one, I don't want anything.
I
don't want you to kiss me. I don't want you to love me. I don't want nothing. I want yoga, jacuzzi, and meal. If you can't control yourself, if I'm that irresistible, you just can't handle it.
He thinks he's irresistible.
You have to, I need to know you have some self-control because if day one I'm crushing like that, then how many times in your life has this happened?
By the way,
what happens when they take you to Carbone? If I took you for meal prep, you're going crazy. What happens when they take you for Carbone?
Okay, by the way, women who are easy to get are not valued by men. So, correct. If you are too easy to get, men don't value that.
But even if they're easy, I don't want it.
But
listen, I don't want it.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want to know, do you like meal prep? Can I find out if you like meal prep without you going crazy?
Are you making the meal prep?
Yes.
Okay.
I prepare it all.
Perfect.
Because this is what my life entails.
Okay.
Meal preps, jacuzzi, work, normal things. I can't go out every night. I don't have that luxury. My outings are during the day.
I cannot go out.
Do we like the same things? You know, can we share meal prep and you tell me what religion you are, and I know we compatible. You know, the little things that are important.
Do you want kids? No kids.
Yeah, you want kids. You want kids? Hey, thank you. You know, bye. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're not gonna make it down the road, and I don't have the time to do Carbone dates to find these things out.
So let me ask you: were your parents married?
Yes.
Are they still married? Are they alive?
No, not anymore. They're separated now.
When you are grown up, that's when they separated?
Yes, when I was 30.
When you were 30.
Yeah.
Okay, and was the dad the provider?
Yes. Yeah, they both were providers in a way because my mom handled the business at home, and my dad handled the business on the street.
So different types of provision, but both of them were contributing. Okay, perfect. So why did they divorce?
They divorced probably in the end just because I think they probably just grew apart, you know?
Okay, stop here. Do you know how we just say it? They just grew apart. Guys, do you hear this?
It's terrible.
No, I'm so sick of it. Do you know what? We don't just grow apart. What happens? When people say we grew apart, what does that really mean?
But I'm not saying my dad was as smooth as me.
But
my dad was married and was very active early on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've waited to get active later on.
Correct.
Because I feel like by doing this, it's allowed me to put myself in a position where now I can be ultra focused and I don't get no sorry. I don't want to be in a relationship and tell somebody we grew apart. That's why date one is meal preps. Because that's going to be a problem down the road. We need to know now.
Correct. But how you don't grow apart over years. 1 year, 3 years, that's still like honeymoon. How do you stay connected? This is the question because people just say, we just grew apart. I'm sorry. What you mean is I didn't actively participate in growing this marriage. That's what you are saying.
Something happened.
Well, something happened, but what happened? Somebody didn't participate in something, or I didn't meet your emotional needs, or I didn't notice you, because this is what happens. We want something, we get it, and then over years, we become what? We kind of forget, oh, this is what I wanted. We forget sometimes, That's why you have to be so intentional, meaning pay attention to your partner, but also pay attention to yourself, that you feel good about yourself, right? That you feel good in your spirit, your mind, your emotional, your physical, in your business. Make sure you are your best self, and then pay attention to your partner, right? Notice them. Sometimes we get so used to our partner, we don't even appreciate them. You know how often that happens? 10 years in? You know how often that happens? Oh, my husband doesn't give me a compliment. Oh, my wife doesn't respect me. She never acknowledges what I do. It's always I need to do more. And we think that's normal. No, this is what happens to us in the marriage when we are not intentional, right? And we kind of relax and we say, should work. Imagine if you do it in your business. Imagine if you just stop taking care of your business. What happens? Right? If I just do the bare minimum expectations of show up, do your work, but do I have to be intentional? I don't know. What would happen to your business? This is what we do in marriage. This is what we do in friendships. This is what we do with our children, right? And then we wonder, oh, we just grew apart. No, honey. No, honey. You just didn't prioritize it and you are not intentional.
Yeah, I think again, if the person comes with the right delivery, you can resolve anything. It's when they come with the wrong delivery. Like someone comes with the wrong delivery, I got an open door policy because there's a door.
Correct.
You know? But if you come with the right delivery and the same message, you can come to me and, we'll definitely find a way to work it out.
Yeah.
What is the one advice that you would give to people who have a business and they're trying to keep their relationship together, spice it up? What's something they can do?
Spice it up.
Yeah, spice it up. I feel like, people may get themselves, like my majority view of, and this is just a personal view, of the 90% of marriages that I feel that are out there, I feel a lot of people have gotten together very young simply for the fact that they can't be alone. And then they get into these relationships, and then down the road, they have these things where, like you say, you grew apart. But were you guys growing together from the beginning? Or did you just get to a point where now you realize that the reasons why you were together were never strong enough to go down the road? Like, I don't want to waste my time with somebody that just, we're making it work. You know what I mean? Like, it either works or go make it work somewhere else.
That's not true though, because I will have people that come to me and some of them are on the verge of divorce. And if in your thinking, you would say, okay, go apart. No, it's not true. Like, I will give you an example of a couple.
Well, I don't agree that the divorce should be the solution. I think you should stay together.
No, but stay together if you work through it.
Yes.
Meaning, hey, they got together, great people, wonderful people. The wife started with me and she says, my husband is an amazing provider. He financially provides for everything. He's a great person, but he checks out. He comes from work. He's not present with me. He's not present. And the kids. When you add kids to the equation, then you have more people to take care of, like emotionally, mentally, right? So
he checks out of the family?
He is checking out, yes. He does business, comes home on the phone. It's like she tries to pull him into the family. He's like avoiding, checking out. Doesn't make him a bad person. Why is he checking out? Okay, so she starts coaching with me. I said, don't worry about him. If it's meant to be, or you're going to impact him and influence him and he starts changing, or he's going to come to me, or the third option, you are going to get a divorce at some point. But focus on yourself. That's always my advice. If something is not working, master yourself. So she starts working with me and she starts changing internally. She feels more confident emotionally. She knows how to communicate better. She also takes care of her expectations. Sometimes we have crazy expectations of people around us, she becomes more relaxed also. She was also go business owner, right? So she's go. This is how we do it. And after I think 7 sessions we had together, she said, my husband starts seeing how I'm changing and he's wondering what's happening. And I tell him I hired someone and he said he wants to talk to you. So he comes to the call. And he said, because I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist, but he says, I've been to therapy, I tried meditation, nothing works for me. I never cry, but I don't know what to do in this marriage. Like, I'm checked out. He literally said, I'm checked out. My wife is angry with me. And I said, it's okay, sir. Give me a few minutes. And then what we discovered is that he is checking out constantly because all this emotional with kids and everything, it overwhelms him and he doesn't know how to deal with it because nobody ever taught him how to deal with pressure. So he can do pressure at work. At home, he has no clue how to deal with it. And then we understand that he came to this country with his parents when he was 8 and he was left to himself very often, by himself. So he was used to what? Shutting down, I'm alone in the house, I'm scared, I'm shutting down. It's an adaptation. I don't feel my feelings, I'm just checking out. Now I'm with my kids, and when we get kids are going to trigger all the unhealed parts of you, right? What you didn't yet address. So I call it a gift. And when we address his childhood, when we address the parts of him that felt overwhelmed, and he learned technique. How do I support myself when I'm overwhelmed, when I feel there's too much pressure from the kids, from the wife, it's chaotic? How do I support myself through those moments? Guess what happened to him? He became the most involved husband and father she's ever seen, right? And she says, you saved us. You literally, because I was on the verge of divorce. I thought I cannot handle this any longer. And so when we look at people, we think, why don't you just change? Because they don't know how sometimes. How do I deal with the pressure I'm feeling? Nobody taught me what to do with it. right? So we have skills to regulate ourselves, which is how do I navigate anxiety? How do I, if there is any fear, how do I deal with that fear? How do I feel with loneliness or being rejected or left alone? So when you master that within yourself, guess what? You become much better partner, right? So it's, yes, some people need to get a divorce, but a lot of people just need to do the work that's required to be a better person for themselves first. And then when you are better for your family, you know?
Entrepreneurs need to remember that their business is just an arm of that success
Yes.
pool, and that their family is also another arm, their kids,
Correct.
their spouse, and that they have to remember that maybe financially they're not the most, they're not where they want to be.
Yes.
But if they have this beautiful family, they're probably more successful than the guy who has more zeros in his account.
Because guess what? How many billionaires you know that they had
Miserable,
3 divorces?
yeah, tons,
okay,
yeah.
Tons of money, no friends,
right.
Kids don't talk to them, kids are disgusted by them, right?
I know a lot of successful people, and the ones with the tight knit family are the ones that I admire the most, not the ones with the most dollars. Because
they're fulfilled.
Yes.
Because what do they have? They have deep connection where they belong. They feel like I can not only provide financially, but I can provide with my presence.
Yeah, the family and the business are intertwined in most of those cases, where they're all involved in it, you know what I mean? And it's like you can't even separate the business with the family because they're so intertwined, and those are the guys that I look at the most, and I don't want to say envy because it's not the right word, but I admire.
You aspire. Maybe one day you would like to, right?
Yes, so I would definitely like to be successful. I don't have to be the richest man in the world, but that I have a good family at home, great kids, wife, and I'll feel more successful than a guy who maybe has more zeros, but a ton of problems, ton of headache, no family, alone.
Guess what? Yeah. Nobody on deathbed says, I wish I had more dollars in the bank account now, right? Everybody, like if you talk to people who are dying, wealthy people, they say, I wish I spent more time with my kids. And it sounds like a cliche because we are not even present to hear that. But that's the truth. When you have a healthy marriage, don't allow your business to cost you your marriage. And vice versa. Don't allow the marriage to cost you. Don't have so many issues that go unaddressed that it impacts your wealth. It goes hand in hand. It has to be, it has to work together. That's what I mean.
No, you heard it from the master, Ludmila, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You heard it from the master. Follow her on social media. We're going to put her tags. We're going to collaborate.
Yeah.
Check her out, maybe get a couple lessons if you need some help in the dating world, someone that can really help you see the light at the end of the tunnel and work things out with your spouse, because it's always a part of the business, right?
Always part of the business, because every time I hear from men, when my house is peaceful, when my home and marriage is peaceful, I am so much more locked in.
I want peace. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to walk in my house and be like, bro, shut the fuck up. Because I will say it. I won't hold back. But
thank God you say it.
Thank you. Oh, for sure. Nice don't worry about it. They're going to feel it. I ain't happy. They're going to know.
No, there is no guessing.
No.